Think Again TV is produced by Centre for Inquiry, Canada's premier venue for secular humanists, atheists, skeptics, and free thinkers.
A lot of people may have forgotten that here in Ontario, we're in a unique situation. The Catholic school system is actually the Catholic public school system. It's in fact paid for by the taxpayer, and it seems rather hypocritical that on the one hand, the Catholic school system should be quite happy to accept public funding, but at the same time, not want to be bound by the same kinds of public policies and restrictions, like anti-discrimination policies, that all public school systems are bound by. We're now going to speak with Andrea Houston, a journalist with the XTRA magazine. This is Toronto's primary gay and lesbian publication. So both of you were quite involved in terms of working as reporters for the XTRA in bringing this issue to light. What motivated you to first show an interest in this particular issue?
I've told the story before, but I was up reading his tweets at night, and he tweeted a LifeSite news story, which talked about a gay trustee being elected to Halton Catholic School Board. In itself, that's not really that interesting. I mean, it's a gay guy elected to a trustee board, big deal. But, I thought, well, maybe I can do a local follow. And so as I read the article, I found at the bottom, it had said that they had banned gay-straight alliances, which I found incredibly alarming.
And we were sure to follow up at one point. LifeSite News is run by Campaign Life, an anti-choice, anti-gay Christian organization. They were excited by this. They were quite happy to see that the board was banning these horrible GSAs. Anything they're celebrating is usually probably bad for the queer community.
They hinged their story on, you better not make trouble, you gay trustee, for the Catholic School Board and do anything to jeopardize the equity policy, which is where the Gay-Straight Alliance ban was wrapped into.
That's what I wanted to get to, is there's a longer history background that led up to these students at this particular school, in this particular district, coming to the administration and asking for the right to have a GSA, a Gay-Straight Alliance group. What was that backdrop?
This was actually led by an aggressive agenda by the Christians on that board to take what had been mandated by the bishops and take it one step further. So there were directives. Well, as one of the Association of Catholic Bishops of Ontario spokesman said, it's advice, and so they took this advice and said, we're going to actually put it in our, we're going to go one step further, and we're going to aggressively make it a policy that these GSAs are banned. We're learning now that there's a quiet ban on GSAs in Ontario, but this was the board that wasn't happy with just having this quiet ban. They wanted to ensure that it was in their policies. So in their aggressive need to put in these anti-gay policies, they exposed the larger problem of the quiet ban.
My understanding was that that there were recommendations that came from the Ministry of Education that GSAs be not only allowed but encouraged at all Ontario schools as part of a set of recommendations to improve the student experience for gay and lesbian students.
Yeah, it's included. It's recommended within the Ministry of Education's Equity Inclusive Education policy, and this is a policy that has sweeping legislation to make all school boards in Ontario equal for all students, and GSAs are explicitly mentioned. It's not law to have, it doesn't explicitly say you must have a GSA, but it is recommended. What the Association of Catholic Bishops have done is they've twisted the words, and so they've made it now that instead of having a gay-straight alliance, they've permitted schools to have inclusive clubs, positive space, groups, things like that. So essentially they can't have the word gay in the title. In terms of somebody like an Alison LeMay, who said specifically, we have the right to do this. We have special rights in accordance with the Catholic Church. This was what she said after she called gay kids Nazis. She basically showed her cards and said, well, we have these special rights, and we're constitutionally allowed to do this. And now it's really up to Ontario, the people of Ontario, to decide whether they should be allowed to do this.
Think Again TV is produced by Centre for Inquiry, Canada's premier venue for secular humanists, atheists, skeptics, and free thinkers.
CFI Canada coordinates branches and campus groups across the country, runs a public education series, provides secular community services, incorporates cutting-edge multimedia such as blogs, podcasts, and YouTube, and is a regular voice in the press presenting a secular humanist, atheist, and skeptical perspective.